ahead, girl.
Okay.
We're trusting you. The light is red.
Okay, I'm just...
The soundboard's lit up.
It is. It looks good.
I believe you. Hey, you know what? I have faith in this.
Exactly. Exactly. I believe in you.
I mean, I'll fake it if nothing. I mean, we're getting a transcript so I could do that.
Yeah, and
It's
I'm double mic'd. So,
yeah, there you go.
I'm Alexis Melvin, and I'm here with Robin Mack.
Hey, hey.
And
Melanie Miles.
Yes.
And this is 22 Sides. Today we're going to be talking about all sorts of stuff.
All sorts of stuff.
And I have to say right up front, we had a technical difficulty. I believe it was my fingers that were the technical difficulty.
Those good nails are just
Fortunately,
getting in
Melanie
the
was
way.
a nice person and decided that she'd help us out so that I didn't have to continue to whine and beat myself up about it. And she'd come back. So
It was
what
my
we're going to talk
honor.
about is a whole lot of things today.
Yes.
Because some things we couldn't talk about because they hadn't happened yet. For instance, I'm just very curious. Did you do your caucus screening?
I did.
Ooh.
And see, nice thing is I know nothing about it, so
Oh.
I don't have to worry about being confidential because
Let
I
me
know
take off
nothing
my
about
jacket for
Yes,
this.
she's getting ready.
Yep.
She's getting
Must be
ready.
getting, we talk about the hot seat routine.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about that a little bit. But the thing I really want to know is we'll start off, what are you doing to get yourself elected?
Oh my gosh, I am doing so much. I am working so hard. I don't think I've ever worked this hard in my life.
What's a day in a life? Like, how do you do it?
Oh my goodness, I'm up at 4:30 in the morning, just kind of getting ready.
There's a 4:30 in the morning?
There is.
You have to get there from the back end.
Yeah,
though, right?
I see it every day. So we're doing it all. We really do have a people-focused campaign. We are, out there knocking on doors, texting, mail, of course. We do phone banking every single day, 6 days a week.
Wow.
And we're doing events. I'm kicking off this Coffee with Mel whole series thing, which is the block walk event, right? So if we're going into a community, we're texting them saying, hey, come have coffee with me the day before.
Nice.
That's cool.
Yeah,
That's good.
it is. And so I get to talk to people and then let them know I'm going to be in the community, so you're not caught off guard. And the next day we're in there block walking. So
Nice.
yeah. So we're trying to, do as much as we possibly can to make everybody aware in the precinct, which is Precinct 7, that I'm running and why.
Well, I look at it this way. I did the same thing I usually do, which is start everything backwards. So what are you running for?
That's a good question, right? I am running for Justice of the Peace, Precinct 7, Place 2. And so if for all of those listening, if you don't know where Precinct 7 is, it is this weird big area, and it is literally from 3rd Ward, Midtown, Sunnyside, South Park, Hiram Clark, over down South Post Oak, Braeswood, and parts of even Montrose. So,
Wow.
yeah.
You get around.
I do.
That's a large demographic.
It is.
And they're all very different. I mean, that's like a nice little piece of Houston.
It is.
A lot of diversity. And I think the vote is March 3rd.
It's March 3rd.
Okay.
It's March 3rd, and it is early voting starts February the 17th.
We're around the corner.
It is, oh my gosh, it is totally around the corner.
Okay. And how long have you been campaigning for? Like, when did you throw your hat in the ring?
I threw my hat, let's see, we had to declare in December, so I threw my hat in the ring, I would say like in September.
Okay, so you're feeling the endurance at this point.
Yeah.
You're mid-marathon, basically.
I am.
Okay. And what are the things that you do to keep yourself well?
Well, 4:30 in the morning, I actually get up usually and go to the gym.
Okay.
So I go to the YWCA downtown.
Wow. Yeah.
And the days that I don't go, I can really feel it. I can feel it in my mental health. I can feel it in my body. I'm achy, especially when block walking. I mean, it's just, beating your body up.
Yeah.
So that's the first thing that I try to do every single morning is do that. And then in the evening, I just have my wind down time where I just want to just go totally brain dead. So I watch something stupid on television with my husband or daughter, or, it's like
Something
90 Day
not to think that
Fiance
much.
or something something like that. I mean, so
it's
that
got a good script and you're just fine.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's sort of like, a lot of days I'm sort of like, I don't want to watch something serious.
Exactly. I do
right.
not. I want something that's going to just be light, happy or whatever, but I don't want anything serious and anything sad.
And you're doing it with your loved ones.
Yes.
And that's a beautiful thing because Alexis and I have interviewed a few politicians along the way. And when I ask them what do they do for their wellness, they're like, oh, I'm not going to lie, there's not a lot. But I mean, I think that's very important because especially in these political days, it's not like you're going to be in a seat where you're just going to be coasting. You're going to be, from what I hear, taking it up a whole lot of notches for what the accessibility is in these neighborhoods to some modern day convenience.
Right.
So you're going to be hitting the ground running when you get that seat. You might as well get endured now, right?
That's exactly right. There's so much that needs to be fixed, improved, thrown out the window and start over when it comes to this particular seat, I mean, it's just so many things.
So what things are you going to do different when you win?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah.
My 90-day plan.
What can we count on you for?
Okay, well, the very first thing is we're going to throw the doors open and we're going to make sure that everybody who walks into that courtroom is treated with dignity, kindness, respect, and they are heard.
That's
right?
a real upgrade.
So, oh my gosh, it's huge because right now they are not treated that way. They're rushed. The cases are stacked on one day. Usually the defendants are not men. When I say defendants, whether it's a tenant or in a small claims case, these are just JP courts should be this friendly court in our neighborhoods, right? That the judge kind of knows a lot of the people and because there are people in the community where the judge also lives. I live in this community.
Right. And that's basically the court most of us would end up in our neighborhood, right?
Right. So to walk in there and to encounter someone who's on the bench that's yelling and screaming and doesn't allow you to speak and doesn't look at your documents and doesn't actually give you a chance to be heard is unconscionable. So that's the first thing.
That's not a neighbor.
No, it's not. That's a good word for that. Is not a neighbor.
Alexis and I were talking a little bit before this. Is like, where are we getting back to like knowing thy neighbor, like being friends, like actually human? Like some people are saying, forget the parties. We got to get back to being human.
Oh my gosh! Will you say that again?
Forget the parties. We got to get back to being human, and it's very timely because I think it's important that you're highlighting that not all communities have the same level of support in their Justice of the Peace courts.
They don't. In every precinct, which there are 8 across Harris County, there are 2 JP courts. And in this one, I'm running for JP 7. JP 1, which is Wanda Adams' court, I mean, oh my gosh, they have everything. They have legal aid, they have legal assistance, they have Lone Star legal aid, all the universities, law schools from TSU to U of H to South Texas, they're all there with clinics providing legal support. They have rental assistance and, utilities. They even have like the unions down there hiring people and explaining about jobs and stuff like that.
Whereas, so you're coming in, you're talking about evictions. You're going to need these things.
You do.
And then if you're down on your luck and you get a case, sometimes these cases and convictions can follow you for a while, so you want it to go well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And the court I'm sorry, Alexis.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say that this particular court, Precinct 7, has zero resources whatsoever. So,
yeah, no, I was just going to say one of the things is that if you treat people well and you get them the things they need, it stops them from escalating because
it does.
Escalation, once it starts, is not a pretty thing.
It's not. It's really not. And once you get a judgment, especially one of eviction in your record, then, when you try to find another apartment, it's going to show up, right? And so you're going to have a problem.
That's hard.
If you try to get a job on a background check, it's going to be a problem. Even in a fast food, it's going to be an issue.
That's hard.
And it's on your credit report. So, it's just so easy to try to provide justice off the bench before they even walk up in that hallway.
Right.
You can hopefully serve people so that this crisis in their lives isn't a permanent situation. So
That's beautiful. I thank you for putting your time and your commitment and your team and your family behind this because, we randomly had Steve Dubel come in here. We were doing a podcast about ghost stories. Actually, it was a bunch of pals talking about ghost stories, and we got a knock at the door, and him and his husband were canvassing. We said, hey, come on in. You want to do a commercial? He's like, oh, this is the best. And he was telling, it was a learning experience for us because even though I care about voting, I haven't always been in the courts. And so he was saying that, he, in his JP space, he has computers and court support and a printer. Like, who has a printer these days, And by the time you get to the court, if you don't have something printed, that's not the time to worry about it, right? So I just appreciate what these judges are trying to do. And you wouldn't hear about that on the news. You wouldn't think that your representatives are working for you. So I like that we're highlighting that because we're bringing it back to the civics that a lot of us might be missing right now. And Alexis is a huge advocate for going and getting to know your court system and even sitting in there, just going and listening.
I mean, one of the things that we end up doing a lot is I'm president of Transgender Foundation of America. We get calls from people in our community that are having problems. Mm-hmm. And usually they have no idea what to do. And if they're upset about something, they're going to go complain, and they don't even know who to complain to.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And they're afraid. Come on, everything from the bathroom. You don't want to go to a court space.
No,
right?
You don't.
Yeah. But there have been several times when after listening to what their problem is, they're basically being illegally evicted. And I'm like, okay, so go down to your JP court, talk to the clerk. The clerk will tell you everything you need to do. It's going to cost you a little bit of money, but not a whole lot.
Yeah.
And usually the clerk suggests they go talk to the judge that day. And usually they know exactly what's going on at the end of it. And what they find out is that if the landlord's doing something illegal, well, the court takes care of that just like they do the other side.
Yeah. Well, that would not be the situation in this court. I can tell you that for sure.
What's it like right now?
Well, it's going to be though, right?
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Okay,
right?
good.
Yeah.
What's it's like right now is, first of all, she will not allow her clerks to speak to anyone at all because she considers that giving legal advice. Even if their question is, how do I navigate the website so I can find my case? They will not provide any information.
And we need user help these days. Come on.
Exactly. And like you said, Steve Dubel, Judge Dubel, has done it so right, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. That resource room that he has there, simple things like providing a computer, those are just easy things. I mean, you can get computers donated,
right.
You don't even have to go and use your, funds to do that. You can get, the resource room donated, which is what he did. He wrote a grant to do that.
That's great.
But there are lots of organizations. I mean, I was just endorsed, I think I mentioned this the last time, by the Houston Evictions Advocacy Center.
That's a beautiful thing. Say more about that.
Oh my gosh, they are great. It was founded by Mark Melton and out of Dallas, and he sourced up the funds to provide legal assistance for every JP court in Dallas, and now they brought it to Houston.
Wow.
Houston's Commissioner's Court has also adopted the program and put money behind it. Mm-hmm. And so, but it's not in this court. I can tell you that. So it's not in this one. So, which is Precinct 7, Place 2, if you haven't forgotten already. But, and so it's a great thing, right? And so when you walk in your example, Alexis, if you walk into this court, they're not going to service that person. They're going to just say, hey, wait for your day in court, and then that person shows up. They still don't know what to do, and they just get poured out. If legal terms were turned away.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, and some of the other courts I know do the same thing that like used to be Crescency's court, now it's Carter's court, and it's like the clerks are told, help any way you can.
Right.
Don't give legal advice, and they understand where the line is.
Yes.
And then usually they get to see the judge without anything else, just to find out what they can do, and frequently it's all taken care of right then.
Well, the problem also here is the judge is not there. So if you show up
on
a Monday,
doesn't it?
Yeah, it makes it hard, right? Justice can't be served if the judge isn't there. So if it's on a Monday, this judge is never going to be there. She takes a 4-day weekend every week, every single time. So that's the thing. If it's after 1:00, the judge isn't there.
Wow.
So you cannot serve the people if the judge is not present. So,
and this is just not a season to be coasting in your seats. So I hope that you have some leads on how to flip it and how to be in it. And do you have anybody else running against you, or is this just you versus her?
I wish. And that.
Are you like a District 18 where you have 30 people running with you? Or?
No, it's not that bad. There is one other person in the race, and I don't have anything to say except that I think she's lovely. I think I'm the better candidate, but yeah. So I think we're both on the same.
It's looking good for that district if people show up and vote.
Yes.
Okay. And do you think that they will? Like, are you getting a sense that people are finding reasons and times to actually come out and vote these days? Because a lot of people have been very discouraged.
It's all pre-designed, right? For voter apathy, to exhaust us. I mean, how many times? And I'm in Congressional District 18. So, you both start laughing.
Yeah, that's just been, it's a perfect example of, I was telling Alexis earlier today, because Amanda and Christian Menifee are going to have a debate at a church.
Yeah.
And
are they not including Al Green? I mean,
I don't know.
I think Al should crash the debate.
Right. Well, and I'm in the district with Sylvia. So, like, what happens to her? She just fades away. Like, I mean, nobody's really talking about this. It's and who knows if there's going to be lawsuits against it, but probably so. But just, while that seat goes vacant, all of us suffer.
Absolutely.
And it just shows us how much every seat matters.
The big bill, I will refuse to call it beautiful, but the big ugly bill, it passed by one vote. And that was Congressional District 18. If we had someone there, it wouldn't have passed.
And I'm sort of surprised that someone in 18 hasn't sued Abbott over all of that.
Yeah.
Individually, but no one has, because basically he's denying them representation.
Absolutely.
For a long time.
A while now.
For a long time. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, I think to answer your question about, do I think people will turn out to vote? I hope so. I hope that everyone is not just tired and apathetic, but I hope they're getting mad. People tend to act when they're mad, right?
Yeah.
Like, okay, that's it.
That's it. I want to go down and click some boxes. They're going to listen this time. And by the way, clicking boxes at the local place for 2 weeks with endless hours where you could go with maybe little to no lines is now easier than ordering a Domino's pizza. Like, we can't get too, upset about this. But in fairness, some people don't have a car. Some people have to get babysitters. Some people are authentically scared. Some people have been registered their whole time and have never had the courage to vote. And
that's so true.
So, I do joke about it, but Alexis and I both have watched many people through the lines as buddy support, because we found people that were registered, but they've been on the news too much or on the computer too much, and they got afraid. They're like, well, God, these lines must be horrible. We're like, not really. Yeah. Well, the people must be violent. Not really. Yeah. Well, but I don't know what to do. I'm like, okay, well, here's an endorsement card. Like, it's practically a cheat sheet. Yeah. They already did the work for you.
Mm-hmm. And there was one person that's, I just can't risk it and that. And I'm like, so you're worried about people hassling you and all that. I'm like, tell you what, I'll go with you. I'll take all the hassle. I'm pretty used to it.
Yeah.
And they said, well, okay. And I said, my guess is if you don't mind driving a short ways up to West Gray, you'll have no problems whatsoever.
Yeah, that's so true.
There's so much law enforcement there all the time.
My friends and I, it's just like, okay, everybody in the household has to go.
Right.
We're just all going together. It's like an event.
Yes.
Everybody's in that house. I don't care how old you are.
Yes.
From 99 to, 9. Even if you're 9 and you can't vote, you're going anyway.
Yes.
So.
When we had went 24-hour voting, I was telling every drag queen, I was like, listen, you could get every bar to sponsor a bus to go vote after your show. There is no reason for you to not have a busload of your people voting your way together in amazing outfits.
Isn't that
okay?
and
I mean, let me not limit you, right? But there would be a whole lot less rhetoric and bans if that had been the case.
That would be great.
You know, they have a microphone, use it. You have a platform, use it. You know, because
what was
a lot
the
of times
to that? Why not?
Well, now we don't have 24-hour voting. They got rid of it, so it's not a thing we can keep doing. But it was
and we
cool.
have started doing a drag show to vote up at West Gray.
Yes. And our emergency responders got to vote for the first time. Some of those people work double, triple shifts, and they're not allowed to leave, like, the ambulance. So that's a big deal. And I do want to remind people that if you cannot get out of the car, they still bring tablets to the car.
They will.
It's more accessible than you let on. And Harris Votes has done a great job of tutorial videos about, like, what to expect, you know, and how to come prepared, so that way you don't waste your time and you know what to do. And I do wonder at this point, like, how are you supplementing your schedule? You're running it all hours. Like, what do you do for fun?
So for fun, that's a good question. So besides hanging out with my family, right, I told you my downtime. So I think for fun, you know, when I'm not campaigning, right now my husband might say, like, hey, let's go out for dinner or something like that. And I feel like, oh, God, please no. You know?
Just throw the cucumbers on the eyes right here.
God,
I'll eat
it
one
sounds
later.
like torture. He's like, I'm like, oh, God.
No more spoons.
No. But normally when I'm not campaigning, I would love that. Regular season. I would love that. Or going just to see a movie. We like to travel a lot.
That's great.
You know, he likes to go to all kinds of strange places and stuff. And so, you know, just, you know, I mentioned before I like to garden, you know, I'm into gardening and stuff. I'm not into growing, but gardening, you know. So,
it's like its own lottery system.
This is like the fishing thing.
Yeah,
not catching.
Exactly. So I can't wait for spring so I can garden again, even though I think I'm supposed to start now. But anyway.
I feel like the plants don't even know what to do with our seasons.
Yes, exactly.
What season are we on? Oh, well, that's
we don't
good.
really have one. I don't think. Yeah,
it's like perpetual summer into Hell's Kitchen, like, you know.
Well, but then we have a week of winter every now and then.
We do.
Sometimes.
I think we're going to have a freeze soon, and
Maybe.
I'm really kind of looking forward to it. You know.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing the freeze does is kill the mosquitoes.
That's right.
Maybe.
You
which
know?
is a good thing. Well, usually.
Yeah.
Some of them just hide out, I think.
I think they have hand warmers or something.
But you were talking about, Robin, videos and stuff that Harris Votes has. I mean, I think that's such a great idea. And I know a lot of people use that, you know, to get over that fear. And it's a great non-intimidating way to, you don't have to say, hey, I don't know. You don't have to raise your hand. You can just sit in your home and actually, you know, watch a video and figure it out. And frankly, I think that's what we should do. Like, that's what I plan to do with this court, you know, have videos and video series and things like that. It's just so easy.
It's important because we have to bring back the civics. And look, we clue into education when we have the time, when we're not nervous. And even when, like, you're going to get a jury duty summons, like, okay, I'm going to want to know what to do. Like, that's not the time to ask your friends.
No,
you know?
it's not.
I was just talking to my niece. She said, oh, I've got my first jury summons. I don't think I'm going to go. And I was like, what? Like, what else are you doing?
Yeah.
And she said, no, I don't want to go because my friends told me that if you go to jury duty, then what was it? No, she didn't want to vote because she thought if she was going to vote, she was going to get more jury duty.
Oh.
And I was like, I don't really think that's how it works.
Yeah.
You know, this hearsayness is not worth it. But I told her, I said, so let's go back to you didn't vote. How do you feel about that now? She says, well, I didn't vote. I don't have a place to complain. I said, okay. But how do you feel with less rights? Because the people who showed up voted for you to not have rights. And she said, yeah. And I said, do you think you'll change your mind? And she goes, I don't know. Like, she was real thinking about it, you know, but it's going to be a while until she gets there. And that's why I'm always asking politicians, like, what are you doing to influence the people who don't go? Because I think if you're party based, you get this like cookie cutter, here's who shows up, here are your low hanging fruit that's going to like you, and then run with that first. And that makes sense. Don't get me wrong. But what about the people who are outnumbering those people now who are not showing up, you know, who have felt like the system hasn't worked for them? And in real time, it's broken, especially in your areas, right?
Yeah.
And so, like, how do you get that belief back in there? That I don't know, what is it, like accountability meets new action meets like let's try again.
Next week, I was asked to speak to a bunch of students about networking, and the importance of it. And these are law students, right? So I'm a lawyer. I've gone through the whole process, and that's what the talk is about. But I think, so in other words, I think it starts not when you're running for office. I think it starts year round, every year, all the time. And I think it's through real lived experiences. Hopefully, if you are running for office, or even if you're not, even you have a podcast,
right.
Really, you're doing this because, one, you have a heart for people. You're trying to educate. You're trying to give something back, right?
Yep.
And hopefully influence others in a positive way. And so that's all the time. Whenever you see an opportunity, you do it. And that's what I think is going to influence people to vote. We have elected officials who have influence, who really, you have these, most people kind of starry-eyed and like, oh, wow, you're an elected,
Right.
And I've never even met someone who is,
It's a big deal.
this or this, whatever. And so use that platform.
Yep.
Use it year round, to do something really good and to influence people. And I think that's how we start to move the needle,
Yeah.
And I think one of the things is that we have to get over this bit of, because you were elected, you're anointed to be something way above the people that elected you.
Right.
That's not the way it works or should work. And, I one of the things that I tell a lot of people, and that is, when you're doing this, the key is to make friends with people that you think might be what I sort of call pre-politicians. Because, you can look and it's like, yeah, they're going to run for office somewhere. I don't know whether they'll be good at it. I don't know whether they'll win, but they're going to run for office. And so, start being friendly and give them some advice that, they may need, because usually someone who's new has no idea what they're doing or getting into.
True.
And that sort of stuff. Well, what happens is that later on you find out that you end up having a lot of influence just because they trust you. And there's certain things that they'll figure out, and then there'll be some people who have no influence whatsoever because they know them.
Yeah.
And I've heard people all the time say, well, I don't have any influence. I don't have any stroke with these people. It's like, you don't have to just give them money. There's a lot of ways that you can do that just by working with them.
Absolutely.
So what would your campaign need other than money?
My campaign can use a lot of things other than money. Number one is just this forum that we're in right now. As much as you can spread the word, talk about this particular race, talk about my candidacy, and what I'm trying to do in Precinct 7, Place 2. That's one, right? Just share and spread the word. Share this podcast to other people that So that's one. Two is I can always use volunteers. Volunteers, you can phone bank from home. You can do it virtually. You can block walk with me, and my team. You can sponsor a coffee if you know someone. In the precinct, I told you, is a big area.
It sure is, yeah.
So if you live in the area or you know someone who does, then you don't have to do it in your home or their home. I can meet you at, McDonald's, and we'll have coffee there.
Like a place.
Yeah, Shipley's, whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, and
now you're talking. We're doing donuts now.
Yeah, there you go. Just donuts. And I love those kind because people can come and go freely, right? I can buy them a cup of coffee. We can sit there and chit chat, and and then folks can, they don't have to feel obligated. They can get up and leave whenever they want, right? And so that's really good. Just invite some of your neighbors and friends and say, hey, I want you to meet Melanie Miles, and that would be great. And then of course voting. Voting is just like the ultimate, right?
That's what needs to happen.
Yes, we absolutely need to
But like
vote.
you said, taking your family, taking your friends to the polls and making a plan. Like, don't save it to the last minute, because we might have a freeze or we might have some rain, and it does go on a little bit for early voting. So there's plenty of time. And I mean, if houselessness is important to you, you're breaking the path. You know,
Right.
you're keeping people into cases that'll actually be heard, and you're expanding the office hours so the cases can actually have a little bit more time to go back and forth and to explain their situation. And I think that it's important to not be missed about the fact that you want to be in your community, because
Right.
a lot of the leadership right now, you turn on the television, like a lot of nationally, people cannot get their representative to pick up the phone or show up at their office or be accountable. So,
Right.
you know, start with people who want to be,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
Like, I mean, really.
Yeah, totally. You know, I mean, you mentioned it, Robin, one of my 90-day promises is that we will change the office hours. Someone asked me, matter of fact, on a screening interview, I think it was on the caucus screening
Oh, the
interview. I know.
LGBT political caucus?
Yeah,
Ooh,
I think someone, matter of fact, I know
endorsements.
it was. I remember the person.
It's
I don't know if I should
endorsement
say.
season.
Yeah, and so I was.
We still don't know the final endorsements at the recording of this. So,
Yeah. But the question was, so one of my things on my platform is that I would like to add a Saturday once a month and an evening once a month.
And that can be helpful.
Exactly, right? You're talking about working people.
Sure.
And so it would be really helpful. And so the question was, well, do you think you would have to go to commissioner's court to get permission to do that? And my response is, I don't think so, because there are 12 clerks in this court, and they handle they handle half the number of cases as some of the larger courts that handle twice as much. And one of them in particular has the same number of clerks as this one. So if they're handling twice as many cases with the same number of clerks, then I think we can just manage this court better, which it's, in my opinion, is not managed very well now. There's no cross-training of clerks and, any of that. I mean, so if there's a freeze or COVID or a flu or anything and 3 or 4 go out, then the court is just...
So that's hard.
Yeah. So, because there's no cross-training. But I believe that with proper management, we will be able to implement some of these new things without having to ask for a budget increase from Commissioner's Court or something like that.
That's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
people who aren't thinking about it. So if you have court some nights and some evenings or whatever, now we're talking about night court. So it can be very comical.
Yes, it could, couldn't it?
Just saying.
Well, and I'm thinking maybe, people can manage their kid care a little bit better, or get to their job and take less time off a little bit better, or something like that. Or maybe go, like Alexis loves to encourage people to just go sit in the court and be a little bit more. Like, if you really care about the law and you want to see the system working, maybe you can go sit in,
Absolutely. I mean, if you're already in a situation where you're late on your rent, you can't afford to ask, now, can I also take off?
Right.
Because I've got to go to this hearing because I'm actually being illegally evicted,
Right.
and I did pay it. I paid it late, but I paid it to Joe, the office worker, and, it's not showing up is what
Right.
you're telling. I mean, you know what I'm saying? And there are just a lot of reasons. It's just not... Every case is different,
Yep.
and every person's situation is different, and you need the time to be able to hear it all.
Right.
Hear it all.
Right.
And the nice thing about JP Court is that a lot of the cases, in fact, most of them are taken care of in one shot.
True.
I mean, it's not like some of the trials that go on for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks.
That's right.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you don't have to go back for
Right.
4
Yeah.
days.
And so it's sort of like watching an episode of a series.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's true.
yeah. If you've run out of episodes to watch, go to your local court.
Yeah.
And you'll be surprised that it's not like Judge Judy and things, but it's real. It's important, and it can be kind of scary. So I'm glad that you're trying to make it more of a welcoming, accessible environment. And when you were endorsing with the caucus or other coffee chats that you've been doing, what do you think has been the best question that's been asked to you? Like something that has inspired you to sort of like live into this position?
Yeah. So I think the best question is, and that's what I was going to ask you all, have you heard about, is SB 38. Have you guys heard about this new Senate Bill 38
Tell
that's
us
come
about
down?
it.
Okay. So our legislature, our Republican-run legislature, they voted to it was couched in, we are addressing the squatters and the squatter issue.
Okay.
Right? So there is a problem with people moving into spaces, homes, apartments, whatever,
Right.
and they don't they're not leasing there and they won't leave, and et cetera, et cetera. So that is a real issue, right? So, however, they created this SB 38, which essentially changes the laws with regards to evictions. It makes it much faster. So the constable has to actually serve it in a shorter period of time, like 5 days, right? After a person is served, they have 4 days to respond. So right now, if your landlord serves you with an eviction, you don't have to respond. You don't have to do anything. You can just show up on the day that you get notice, right, that the hearing is going to take place. And that notice has to come. They have to like post it on your front door, or a constable has to serve you with it, something like that, or the constable has to get permission to post it on your door. Well, now you have to respond to it. Okay.
Good.
If you don't respond, then they can get what's called kind of like a summary judgment, meaning you don't have to ever show up, no trial, no nothing, and you're evicted. Okay.
All right. How do we feel about this?
We don't feel good about that.
I don't know. We don't. We don't. Okay.
No,
we do not.
no,
Okay.
I don't
She was like, no.
I was looking over when you said, how do we feel about this? I'm like, I don't know how I feel about it.
I don't know. It's not a camera podcast. We have to express our feelings.
Well, but the interesting thing about it with this bill,
No.
it's addressing a real problem. And, it's like a lot of other things. You got to be really careful when you're addressing a real problem because sometimes you're creating more.
Correct.
Yes.
And the whole squatter thing is ridiculous.
It's really gotten out of hand.
It has.
Essentially, you leave your house for a short while, you come back, someone else has moved in, they falsified some paperwork that they can show the constable, and you can't get them out.
You can't get them
Well,
out.
and I keep hearing that squatters have more rights than landowners right now, or something like
sometimes.
this. And then the landowner ends up having to pay for them, basically, to be there, unfortunately, and they cause damage. And the last recent news report I saw was of a guy who thought it was his divine right to just assume the land, and they're like, no, you do not live here,
No.
and doing all sorts of things that he should not be doing at that house. And it's all documented, but can't get him out. So where do you think, maybe because we've seen this a lot in the trans community, right? People pitch that there's an issue, and there may or may not be, but in the squatter issue, there's an issue, and then they create a policy, and then they just wiggle waggle and try to pass at midnight BS that's not going to help anybody. So is this just not the bill that's going to help people, or is it there's some parts that will, some parts that won't? What do you think about it?
I think it's just like such a difficult situation because, like you said, squatter issue is a real issue.
Yeah, it is.
For private, it's like you go on vacation, say, hey, we're going to go spend a month in Europe. Right. You come back and then there are people living here. It's like they break a window and they move in. Yep. And it's just like, what the heck, right? So that is an issue. I don't necessarily know that I have the fix to that, but I do know that when it comes to tenants who are being impacted, they have a lease agreement, right? And so now if they don't respond, and it's a complicated situation, so they're not getting a notice. They would if I'm elected. That notice telling them about their trial date when they're served by that constable, actually before the trial date, when they're first served by that constable, right, with that eviction, right, then at that point in time, that notice should lay out, you in big bold letters, underline, you must provide a response, and here is a copy of a fill in the form response, that you must complete and return within 4 days of receiving this. Right. Because if not, a judgment can be issued against you without you doing anything. Okay? Without you doing so, that's one. And then the other thing is, let's say the tenant has agreed to receive notices via email now. I know lots of leases are like that, right? Yeah. Well, now if you've agreed to an email notice from your landlord, they could possibly send you notice without it going through the constable, just via email. Now, who's up on their emails?
Again, if you're on vacation or it got lost in the landslide, like that could be a little dangerous, actually.
Yeah.
The one nice thing, this is the positive part, is usually in Texas when we get one of these bills that's really solving a problem and they're trying to solve a problem and it didn't work. Usually in the next session, a much better bill shows up.
Yeah, they try to fix it.
And hopefully that'll be the case here, because the way it was is wrong, the way it is wrong, so it's going to be a real problem.
I think I think you have to think, and I don't know how much. We have the apartment associations. What is it? Lobbying group. They are in favor of this. And have led.
Well, of course they are.
Yes, exactly. Right. So they're in favor of it, and they have led the charge on it. I don't know that there is a tenants group. Maybe the unions, maybe AFL-CIO, but we definitely need a lobbying group, and I do know that several groups lobbied, because this bill was much, much worse than this to start off when it came to tenants, right?
Right. Sometimes it gets better the longer it's being picked at.
Yeah.
And I think that if I were having a seat at this podcast table and I click play on this episode, because we truly want people to feel like they are invited to every conversation, that they're welcomed. And I just met you, Melanie. What I hear is you want transparency, fairness, and accessibility to, justice.
Yeah.
And I think that's a beautiful thing for you to run on and to stand for and to put your time in. And most importantly, I'm really glad that you're taking time to be with the people and staying well while you're doing it, because that's not easy. So thank you. You will always have a seat at this table. And if you are just tuning in or skipping through, we want you to come out and vote this season. If you're in Houston, March 3rd is the final day, probably. Yep. Early voting is February
17th through the 27th.
You can find out more information about Melanie at
milesforhouston.com. That's Miles, MILES, FOR, Houston.com.
And if you're listening to the podcast, I want you to take care as well. Subscribe and share, because this may be the only way that someone finds out about it. And they might be a little curious too.
Yeah.
The other thing about it that I do want to make sure we say, and that is, we have a very long ballot in Harris County.
Yes.
And you need to go all the way down the ballot.
All the way down the ballot.
Some of the positions at the bottom are going to affect you way more than the positions at the top, because you'll probably never see the people at the top.
Especially you won't see me. I'm down at the bottom.
I was going to say, but you will see the people at the bottom once they're elected. So go make sure you vote for them. And some people have said, well, I could just start at the bottom. No, you really can't. You've got to go through all of them.
Right. And this is a time to not skip, because we've got everything from city to state. And you can make a big difference with your time if you go to the voting poll this time. So please consider it. If you're in Harris County, go to Harris Votes. And I look forward to you finding out if you're in her district and who you could actually support if you're not. And maybe check out the caucus endorsements, the LGBT political caucus, because they do a lot of good work.
And there's a few other ones that you might want to check out also.
Yeah. Like what?
Like InVoter.
Like what? Okay, like InVoter.com?
Yep, InVoter.com.
Okay.
And it'll be up shortly.
Okay.
But here's another thing. So what did you think of the caucus and screening? I mean, I didn't screen you, so I have no knowledge or anything else.
You know what? I don't know if I'll get it or not, but I really felt good about it. I thought it was a good screening. It was an hour, so that's not just some little, I was in another one. It was like speed dating, it was just like, oh my God, this is just, in 10 minutes it was over, so, but no, it was very thorough. The questions were thought out. It wasn't just some routine check the box. Hey, okay, on next to the next person. They were really very, very thorough, which I expected that anyway. But yeah, it was really, really a good screening. Yeah. You could tell that everyone was virtual. So there were quite a few people in the screening meeting, and you could tell that each one who asked questions, they, were looking for real information, right?
Yeah, we'll add this into the show notes, because the LGBT political caucus has been around for a while, and they've waxed and waned on membership and how they do things and whatnot, but they've always had a place for an average person to just get involved and learn about politics, learn about how they can actually talk to political leaders, whether they're in the seat or they want the seat, and maybe hand out some cards at the voting booth. So it's a great way to meet people people and
It is.
get newly educated. If you don't know anything, you could still volunteer and be a part of it.
Absolutely.
And the other thing that a lot of people miss, because this is sort of the behind the scenes part, is, they do the interviews and it's a long questionnaire, actually, that you filled out. But
It's a lot of work.
You
yeah.
rarely ask anything that's already on the questionnaire unless
That's
it's
true.
confusing.
Yeah.
And then after they've interviewed every one of the candidates for whatever race it is, the screeners, who all have to have interviewed everyone for the race that they're in, have a discussion.
Yeah.
And some of those discussions get very, very heated.
Do they?
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Well, then some of the members get a chance to even get in that discussion on the endorsement day, right?
Well, then endorsement day, there's another round if people want to.
Yeah, so this is like 3 times cooked of homework. And if someone's like, I don't know where to get started, I always send them the caucus card because I'm like, they did half of the work. Like, here, take it as a starting sheet.
And even if it's not exactly the politician that you might like, or there might be something with them, they aren't turkeys, is the way I usually put it.
Yeah.
Somebody that's just like, no, this person shouldn't even be around, will be excluded pretty quick from the caucus information.
Yeah, and I like the fact that the caucus is accessible virtually now because, it's a good way for people to like dip their toe in a political conversation and just kind of see what's happening in real time in Houston politics. So I appreciate the work that they're doing.
And again, there's a lot of other groups that screen.
Sure.
Some of them are pretty good.
Yeah.
Some of them, I don't know how they call it a screening, but that's just my personal opinion.
Yeah.
Well, and there's things like the Houston Chronicle and, like you said, invoter.com. And so we'll list a few just so people can get started with their homework.
And you're right. Every organization, I was kind of just joking around, but some lean more to some don't screen at all. They really rely upon the questionnaires, which are very, very thorough. And so they don't feel the need to do an in-person sort of conversation because they're really looking for the depth in that questionnaire.
I absolutely wish that people would screen in person and stuff. I did some screening when Beto ran against Cruz a while back, and again, it was a very large ballot, and the things that some people would say at a table, they would never get elected for if someone heard that in real time.
Really?
Oh, yeah. And we're seeing it now a little bit in the media because you can live stream into the legislature now. You can see some of these video clips that people are saying at like a federal level, and you're like, oh my God, did they say that? It's like they probably said that when they were getting elected.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
that's true.
If it smells bad, if it sounds bad, if it is bad, like just stop putting these people in the seat, and we will not have as many problems as we do.
Yeah.
So it can start with just volunteering if you're curious. And the cool thing is you do get to talk to politicians. You get to ask judges and city council members and things like this. Like, what did you do here? What would you do differently? Or how does this even work? Like all those questions.
Yeah. And you know what, to your point, I've been on several screening committees and for endorsements of different organizations. And you're right. When you have a candidate and they show up and they're like prepared, and especially virtually and in person, right? They're prepared, they're ready to go to, versus a candidate that they're not prepared. They're, you can tell physically, mentally, the whole thing. They're just like, whatever.
You're not prepared. You don't even know who you're talking to. And then somehow I'm supposed to think you're going to know how to do this for your job. I don't get employed and stay employed like that. I don't think they should either. Right. But we don't want to take any more of your time. We're really thankful for you to come back, and you're always welcome here. So thank you very much. Anything else, Alexis?
Nope.
It's gone by so fast.
I know. Well, thank you, listeners. It's your turn to click play
That's why
and share.
I kept looking over. I'm like,
I know. Thank you for leaving reviews.
Robin's finishing it up.
Thank you for
Doesn't
spreading
seem
the
like
word.
it's gone there.
Thank you for taking care. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.